In the ancient empire of Sumeria, long before modern technology, glowing screens, and digital reminders existed, there lived a renowned metalworker named Arukan, celebrated for crafting swords of unmatched sharpness and shields engraved with sacred markings. His tiny workshop stood beside the river Tigris, shaded by tall palm trees that whispered with desert winds. Yet despite his fame, Arukan secretly struggled with something that silently weakened his productivity: clutter. Over years of work, his shop had become a chaotic maze of scrap metal, half-finished blades, scattered tools, dusty scrolls, broken pots, and piles of forgotten materials. And though he tried to work with dedication, he often lost precious hours searching for the right hammer or blade mold. His focus wavered, his patience thinned, and the quality of his creations slowly began to fade. One day, a young prince named Elton came seeking a sword that symbolized discipline, clarity, and strategic power, for he was preparing to enter the Royal Academy of Generals. Arukan, ashamed of the state of his shop yet unwilling to turn away, royalty, began working on the order, but the chaos around him made him slow, unfocused, and frustrated. He misplaced the hilt 3 times, spilled sacred oil, and even cut his finger on a tool buried under clutter. Seeing his struggle, Prince Elton gently asked, "Master Arukan, how can a warrior think clearly when the battlefield is messy? And how can a craftsman create excellence when his workspace fights against him?" Those words struck Arukan like a hammer on steel. That night, unable to sleep, he reflected on the discipline of ancient sages, the strategies of kings, and the teachings carved into temples. Clarity outside creates clarity inside. The next morning, Arukan made a powerful decision. He would clean, organize, and transform his entire workspace, no matter how long it took. He removed every old scrap, swept every corner, sorted every tool, repaired broken shelves, labeled jars, sharpened chisels, and arranged everything with intention and purpose. Hours turned into days, and with every piece of clutter removed, he felt his mind grow sharper, calmer, and stronger. When he finally stepped back and looked at his transformed workshop, open, bright, clean, and organized, he felt a surge of energy he had not experienced since youth. With newfound clarity, he began crafting the prince's sword with masterful precision. Each strike of his hammer was intentional, each movement smooth, each decision thoughtful. Tools appeared exactly where he expected them to be. Materials flowed in harmony. Distractions disappeared. The sword he created became his greatest masterpiece, a blade of radiant polish, perfectly balanced, strong for battle, yet elegant enough to symbolize discipline and focus. When Prince Elton returned, he marveled at both the sword and the workshop. "Master," he said, "your work shines with clarity, and so does your spirit. You have not simply created a weapon, you have created wisdom." Arukan smiled, realizing the truth. Productivity is not only about working harder, it is about working cleaner, clearer, and smarter. Centuries later, in our modern world filled with digital tools, mobile apps, and endless notifications, the lesson of Arukan remains powerful and relevant. Just as clutter in his workshop stole his time, energy, and creativity, digital clutter steals our chaotic desktops. Messy folders, unread emails, scattered notes, forgotten reminders, and unorganized apps silently drain focus and motivation. But today, we have tools Arukan could never imagine: simple, powerful apps that help us organize life with ease, Apps like Notion and Evernote for structured planning, Trello and Asana for task management, Google Calendar for scheduling, Forest for anchoring attention, and Focus To Do for timers and tracking. When used wisely, these tools become the modern equivalent of Arukin's organized workshop. They bring clarity to our digital space, sharpen our focus, and allow productivity to shine. The truth is simple. You do not rise by doing more. You rise by doing what matters with clarity, purpose, and order. A clean workspace, physical or digital, is not just a habit. It is a strategy, a mindset, a discipline. When you declutter your environment, you declutter your thoughts. When you remove distractions, you reveal direction. When you organize your tools, you organize your potential. Let Harukin's ancient lesson remind you today. Success does not start with motivation. It starts with structure. Clean your space. Organize your tools. Simplify your environment. And if this story inspired you, make sure to subscribe for more wisdom.